Hi, welcome back to Agile presentation. This is BS Satyadev. In the last presentation, I talked about Scrum, its values, what actually Scrum promotes, and what is Scrum. We have seen that. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about Sprint, a timeline in Scrum, and also talk about roles that are there in the Scrum model. Let's go to the next slide. Now, what is a sprint? Sprint, actually, this word sprint you used in Scrum. Basically, sprint is nothing but jumping from one to another, right? So basically, that's what sprint is. Now, as a formal definition, sprint, also known as iteration or iteration, is a time box that could range anywhere from 1 week to maximum of 4 weeks. So that means the Scrum teams that follow that model adopt a sprint that fits their needs. For example, there are 3 teams in an organization. The first team could take 1 week as their sprint team. Second team could take 4 weeks as another. Third could take 2 weeks. It depends upon their need and requirements. So there needs to be a sprint. That is for sure. But what is the length of the sprint? Again, depends upon the team requirements. That's why Scrum is kind of a framework rather than a process. It doesn't define do it for every 3 weeks. No, it doesn't say anything. It says 1 to 4 weeks. Why it has limited to 4 is because Agile says that the iteration or the software delivery increment should be in small cycle. Sometimes 1 week should be okay. Sometimes it might require 4 weeks. Beyond 4 weeks, which is like a month, if you keep taking more time, then the software gets piled up and the value of the software gets reduced. So that's the reason they limited from 1 week to max 4 weeks. So you can take anywhere between 1, 2, 3, 4 for sprint. This is the time frame in which a team plans, develops, tests, documents, and reviews their work that they wanted to deliver. So basically, this is like Agile thing, right? I told you Agile is nothing but a waterfall model in small cycles. So in 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time or 4 weeks time or 1 week, whatever it is, right? Whatever the sprint time box is, they pass through all the stages of waterfall model. And after that sprint is done, they'll deliver a software called the product increment or iteration deliverable. So sometimes it's called sprint deliverable. That means at the end of every sprint, which is like 1 week to 4 weeks max, they deliver a software. At the end of the product, so customer will get to see the software and they can give the feedback. That's what sprint is. Now, how people work on sprint? Normally in the beginning, they used to have boards like this. A big board, there is a wall. On that wall, a big board is put into. They will add these things called stories. I'll talk about stories little later. And they have these columns like to do, in progress, testing, and done. Now, what story is nothing but a small piece of work that can be done in a sprint time. A story is nothing but a small piece of work that is part of the software that is planned for delivering in this sprint. Is called a story. There could be multiple stories. As multiple developers are there in the team, they would pick up one of the stories. Let's say a developer takes a story and he puts it in to do. That means he is planning to do. Once he started working on, he will put that slip to in progress. Once it is done, it has to be tested. It will be given to a testing member, and the testing member will put it to the testing column. Once everything is done, tester will put it in the done column. So this is like a developer, QA, security team, everybody will get to see the board because this board is on a wall, a big wall, and everybody can see it and everybody can go and change it. Well, not everybody, but only the team members that handle that board, right? So this is the manual way of working with in sprint. Now nowadays people are not using these manual boards because of the remote working, or because if it is a manual board, the challenge is if somebody weekends or somebody may get to knowingly or unknowingly they may do some nasty things to that board, right? So man, these boards are okay in the beginning, but it's not, practically they have problems. So there are like automated boards on the web where we can, all these activities, what create story, picking up stories, putting them into progress, testing, and everything will be done in an electronic way. So there are so many things that are available. Now I have shown you something called Jira, which is like a Scrum, which is like a online thing, for for the Scrum sprint board or Scrum board. Now, as you can see, there are things to do in these are the stories. Each rectangle is a story, and when you click on it, it will get expanded. What needs to be done, everything will be documented in that. So these are like tabs. These tabs are like stories. Somebody grabs this and put it into, just using mouse grab, put it into in progress. A developer do that in the beginning of the sprint. Then he keeps working on. Once the coding is done, it will put it into the review, then testing, and testing. Once the testing is done, it will be put into done. That means the end of the sprint, most of the stories, if not all, will be in this done column, right? So this is how online sprint boards work. Now, let's talk about Scrum roles. So more on sprint boards is something that has to be done as an exercise. Google it and work on several sprint boards and understand how they work, right? So that's an exercise to the listener/viewer. Now, let's talk about various Scrum roles. The first Scrum role is the product owner. The product owner defines the technical vision for the product that needs to be built and decides how it needs to be built. Is product owner a technical guy or a non-technical guy, or completely? Actually, most of the times product owners are technical people. They can be the managers, the people managers of the team itself. But again, it is not necessary. But there should be a person who should be designated as product owner, who mostly focuses on product, the features, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. All these things will be given by the product owner. The responsibility of product owner are communicate with the stakeholders. Mostly the product managers. They are the actual people who knows about the product, but they are not be technical people. Discuss with them, understand the business vision, and what needs to be done, when it needs to be done. All these things they will collect that knowledge. Talk to the stakeholder. This is what exactly. Talk to the stakeholder and users to understand their needs, problems they are trying to solve, and their product vision. Similarly, provide description to the team from the end user perspective on what product features the team needs to build, and their priorities. So basically, product owner is a liaison between the actual business team and the technical team. So he communicates with both of them and gets the vision, requirements, everything, and put it into stories, convert them into stories or features, and give it to the team so that team would work on it. Next role is a Scrum Master. Scrum Master is neither a project manager or a product manager or a team manager. He is a servant leader. Now, this person, Scrum Master, is responsible for running the Scrum activities. So what are the Scrum activities? We are going to discuss further, but yeah, he ensures that everybody in Scrum follows the Scrum philosophies or values: openness, courage, all these things which we discussed in earlier presentations. So he makes sure that everybody is on the same page. If there are any conflict between the team members, he gets in the picture and try to understand, resolve them with the help of technical leaders or the people leaders. So he helps removing impediments, roadblocks in the sprint iteration. For example, a developer needs a license of a software. Now, he raises this in the Scrum meeting. Then Scrum Master will take it as an action item, will work with the corresponding folks and align this developer to that folks so that he will get what he is required. So Scrum Master will help the team members. He or she also ensures Scrum is understood and skillfully done by the team members, and he coaches the Scrum values. He or she facilitates Scrum ceremonies. Most of the time, Scrum Master is the technical manager or the people manager. could act like a product owner as well. So these two roles can be combined together in some organization, but in some organization they will be separate. It depends upon the organizational definition. Now the third one is the development team, a group of professionals who can deliver a potentially releasable increment at the end of the sprint. Now in Scrum, there is no distinction between a developer and a QA. Both of them are called developers. Now, and how many people should be there in a Scrum team? Minimum 3 and maximum 9. Should not be more than 9 people. Talk about why it has to be more than 9 in further presentations, but that's what Scrum says. So here are some characteristics of the Scrum dev team. Dev, again, like I said, it's not just simple developers. It contains developers, QA, UX people, security people, if they are part of the team. Anybody else, like, who actually contribute on a day-to-day basis will be part of the dev team. It could be an architect also. So, but product owner and Scrum Master are not part of the dev team. So they are like separate roles. What would they do? Build product increments and deliver at the end of the sprint. So after in every sprint, could be like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 1 week, doesn't matter. So they build the actual product, they work on the stories, they develop the actual software, test the software, do the quality assurance, do everything right that required and deliver the software. Self-organizing without somebody telling them what to do. So they understand themselves, they talk to themselves. If required, they talk to stakeholders and do their job. They don't need to fall back on all the managers or a Scrum Master or for needs. If required, yes, they may have to, but they are independent. They are supposed to do what they are required to do. If required, they talk to product owner for clarification. Need to be a cross-functional. That means that the documentation or the knowledge should be transferred across the team members, and anybody can do any work kind of thing. That's what it says. The Scrum rule says. That's about Scrum values. So thank you very much.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.